Hello, crafty friends. Thank you for coming by today. I appreciate you tuning in to my YouTube channel. This is Denise, and I am Treasures of a Crafty Mind. And today I thought it would be fun to go ahead and put together the base for the Kscraft's book Carousel die set. And I already have the pieces that you need for the base. Depending on your cardstock, you will need to cut more. To begin with, you need to cut 2 of the guides for the base, and that gives you your markings to place your dividers. So you'll need a top and a bottom. And then since this is 110-pound cardstock, I am only going to cut a top and a bottom decorative piece, and that is the piece that comes with the stitched lines right here. And then you need this piece here, and that's what makes all of the dividers. Now, Hannah, her tutorial, she takes all of the pieces and glues them together. I'm going to place these, each one, over one of the score marks. Boy, it's really hard to see the score marks, but I'm going to line up the edge of each of the pieces with the lines of the cardstock, and then I will be gluing each one side by side. Okay, so go ahead and you will need 8 of these pieces, and then depending again on your cardstock, if you don't have 110 pounds cardstock, I encourage you to cut an additional base piece to glue to the bottom before gluing the decorative stitched piece on. I'm going to go and clean this up a bit and then put the base together with you. That's all I'm doing, is sharing with you today how I made my base. And then I used the rollers, and that's the other thing that's different from Hannah's. And I happen to have these in my stash, so I had them to use. Okay, I'll be right back after I get these cleaned up. I will be using white glue. To start off with, I will be gluing my pieces together. Don't cover the score marks. All right, we're going to do the other side. So flip it over. And hopefully your glue is not clogged. There we go. And today I am using the Crafter's Companion seasonal paper pad, and it's for like holiday season, summer and spring holidays. So really good for Easter, which is kind of what I'm going for today, and really good for birthday. Okay, so there is that one. And now again, make sure you do the other side. There we go. I'm sure I need more glue. Okay. The Crafter's Companion, I want to say, is easily 90-pound cardstock. And then I have the 110-pound cardstock that I found on Amazon. Okay. So you can see there's the score marks. Now let's get our pieces. Now I'm going to be folding them towards each other and the flaps towards each other, okay? And I'm using wet glue because that gives me time to wiggle everything around. It's not perfect, but I like how it came out. Find your marks. I don't know if you can see them. Find your marks. That's the hardest part for me, is to see the darn score marks. There we go. And there. And I'm going to line the paper right up to the edge. And then I'm going to get a bone folder. And do your best not to let them move. And get that down. All right. And now make sure you've got plenty of glue, because we are going to glue the next one in its score mark line and up against this one, okay? And then that makes them extra sturdy. Okay, I've got my next one. Glue in my flaps. And find that score mark. Line the first one up. And then you're going to butt the next one up against the one beside it. Okay? Okay, and then we're going to do the next one. And we're just going to repeat it until all of our pieces are glued down, okay? All right, find your next line. Make sure you are on that line. And then bring this one forward. Up against that one. All right, and then just repeat until you have all of them on. almost done. How are you doing? Thank you so much for crafting with me today. If you have this dice set, isn't it fun? What are you using yours for? There we go. To me, it just seemed a lot easier once you got one done, and then it guides the next one in. And see, it's already making the shape for you for the top, okay? And I'm going to show you how I came in and glued mine together. You don't even really have to. I just went ahead and did it just because. Okay. Almost done. Last one. And then if you have this die set, you see that there is a piece. You get 4 triangles, and that's what you put in between these pieces to cover those. All right, and this is the last one. And you butt that one up against the one on each side. And that's it. See? And the shape's already there for you to put together. And honestly, I didn't try it Hannah's way. I just went ahead and did it this way. And it's up to you, but you can come in here and just add a little bit of glue. Whoops. And just kind of glue those together like so. And I used my Sizzix flower shaper. And there. And it helped me pinch those together. Okay, so go ahead and finish yours. And see, it makes it a little bit warped, so really it doesn't matter if you put it in, maybe not, but that's up to you. And if you're not going to add yours, flip this over and do your best to line it up with the lines. See, but I'm going to at least go ahead. I suggest going ahead and gluing the top pieces together. So go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay. And I am just going and just folding down those pieces to make sure they're lined up when I glue them. It really does help. It's not a big deal, I think, to glue the sides together, but these definitely. And you could even pop tags in between if you were doing a swap or some ephemera in an envelope. That could be fun. You could even punch a thumb notch so somebody knows that you could put something there. Okay, so now we have all of those together. I think it's even a good idea to glue all of those together. Hot glue's even better, I think. It's kind of like a rosette. Anything to give it more stability, in my opinion. Hot glue would be even better. There we go. All right, hold that or use hot glue, and when that's dry, let's come back to that. Okay, now that's about as good as I think it's going to get. Now let's flip it over. Get all of these tabs ready first. And we're going to get glue on them. Almost forgot. Okay, get your glue. And glue all of these tabs up. Don't be shy with the glue. I honestly think wet glue is the way to go. If you're using Barely Arts Beacon, something that dries not too quickly, but you know, not for forever, takes to dry. This glue I'm using today is Reptile brand adhesive. I was a follower of Posh Paper Lady for many years, and she, whoops, introduced us to it. Okay, now we're going to come over upside down, find your lines, and then just make sure that they are all up to the front. You don't want them over. Line them up the best you can. It's really hard to see them. Okay, and again, get your bone folder. Okay. Make sure they're down really good. And that's it. Okay. There we go. And let's see how good it works here. Let's get the books out from this one. And you can do the books any way you like. There we go. And you can see why everyone's been tying their books in. There we go. There is the book carousel. And then you just need a beautiful ribbon to tie it all up with to hold them in. Eileen Payne did that. I've seen, oh my goodness, quite a few of the gals. And it really is the prettiest and best way to hold them all in. There it is, everyone. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming by today and doing this tutorial with me if you did. And I will see you in my next video. This is Denise AbateSmith, and I am Treasures of a Crafty Mind. And this is how I put my Kscraft's Carousel Book Box together. And then you just need these feet, or you can follow Hannah's tutorial on how she did the carousel. All right, bye for now.